Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to live continuing coverage of day one of round three of the 2026 BNL Karting Series season. Alex Goldschmidt up here in the commentary box with you all the way through today and tomorrow as we are into the pre-final stages of day one with Mini and Mini Rookie, DD2 and DD2 Masters, and the final set of qualifying heats that will decide the top 36 drivers going through to the finals later on today. So the green light flashes at the end of the dummy grid and on to the start-finish straight as we get set and ready for the 10-minute plus an additional lap pre-final for Minimax and Minimax Rookie. It's Austin Aman that will lead from pole position, ahead of James Roots with Sebastian Behrman and Teddy Murphy rounding out the top two rows. Day and Habits and Charlie Page, row 3. Maria Roberto and Noah Stayhouder, row 4. Flynn Grantham and Arthur Bowers complete the top 10, with Bowers on Mini Rookie pole. Arlo Gamble and Joshua Cook round out the next row, row 6. Row 7, Germany's Tim Hansler joined by Logan Rolfe in the 135. Samar Chopra and Caio Vieira, followed by Vincenzo Silva and Lenny Barton. Milo de Karlsmaker, Ben Falca, Gustavo Oliveira, August Likibo-Lingzo, Jensen Skeffington, Alexander Freinstein, Tristan Abils, Kai Suri, Henry Moyat, Arthur Ray Steenbergen, Evert van Middendorp, Julian Lorison, Hossein Al-Husseini, Jayan Prakash, and Amizio Zani, rounding out your starting grid. So 10 minutes plus an additional lap to decide how the grid will line up for the final later on today. More to the point, already the action has been fast, frantic and furious at times amidst the significant sunshine from up above. Air temperature now 30 degrees Celsius and climbing. And we are due to hit in around about a couple of hours' time, 31, maybe 32 degrees centigrade. So the drivers will be under duress from a physical perspective, mentally taxed, and also the adrenaline coursing through their veins. The red lights are on the starting gantry as the field makes its way through turn 9 at Cafe Corner. With plenty of individuals on the mechanics gantry just off of the exit of the final corner, turn number 11. We will see how this race unfolds live here from the home of champions, Karting Genk. It's Aman on pole, Roots alongside as they come out to the final corner. We are revs up, lights on, and we are racing in the pre-final. A little bit of a drama there for the, looks like the 106 Milo de Karlsmaker for Dams Racing. Had to keep out of the way as Austin Aman is in the lead. Sebastian Behrman through for P2 on James Roots in the 151 from well, it's not James Roots. He's roundabout fourth, anywhere between fourth and sixth position. Make that fifth, as Day and Habits has already jumped up to P3. We go down into turn 6 off of the Europalan for the first time. And everyone looks to have pretty much gotten through. Well played by over 30 drivers at this early stage. And for some of the drivers, including the likes of Maria Roberto, the likes of Josh Cook, This is a very, very vital fight that they've got to undertake. After the opening lap, Oman leads by 2/10 from Behrman, Habits, Murphy, Page. With Oman the fastest one out there after the opening tour. Roberto 6th. James Roots in 7th now, ahead of Flynn Grantham and Josh Cook, who started on the outside of row number 6 and now is in 9th, ahead of Noah Stayhouder from the Netherlands. Stayhouder in the 108 completes your top 10 as we are more than 50% of the way through lap number 2. One of the key things in these hot weather conditions, I'm seeing towels, wet towels on heads, wet towels on the backs of red necks. So very, very good call. And obviously with the drivers, they're going to have to hydrate significantly to keep them at their optimum. Charlie Page now up to 4th from 6th on the grid. Has just put in the fastest tour of the race. 1 minute. 0.617 seconds by the 114. Rounding out the top 4. Arthur Bowers, Arlo Gamble, Kyle Vieira, all have dropped right to the bottom end of the field. Bowers 30th, Vieira, Al-Husseini down to 32nd, and Gamble all the way down from 11th at the start, nearly 3 laps ago, and is 33rd and at the back end of the train. Jayan Prakash has been on the move, up 10 spots already. So has August Likibo-Lingzo from Denmark, up from 22nd, now runs 12th. And Josh Cook now up 5 positions. He's got past Flynn Grantham as Charlie Page dives up the inside at turn 1 on Dayan Habits from Dams Racing. And now takes P3. And at the moment, well, the leading Mini rookie driver is Charlie Page. Fires it past Sebastian Behrman down the Europolan and gets sideways. Oh, it scatters them. Oh, what a save by Charlie Page. Sideways out of turn 6. And is thinking, hang on, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. And then all of a sudden, Teddy Murphy says, thank you very much. I'll take that every single day of the week. As Josh Cook gets the black and white warning flag, the 175 current championship leader, he is bearing down on those in front, including James Roots. As Teddy Murphy finds himself a little bit further back. Charlie Page now P2. Austin Oman is a second and a half up the road. Josh Cook now up another, well, up on another fastest lap of the race is the youngster in the 175. He is definitely showcasing why he is the one to watch. Stayhouder battling with the likes of Roberto. And also looks like Logan Rolfe. And that is in the 135. Another lap set to be completed. Austin Oman completes lap 5. Charlie Page second. Third, it's Teddy Murphy. Josh Cook now 4th. Up 8 places. And I don't think he's done yet. Sebastian Behrman going toe-to-toe, elbow to elbow with Dayan Habits. And they've got James Roots closing in. Habits, oh, bit of a send and then some from the young Belgian. Went through, made a bit too, well, didn't get on the brakes early enough, and I think, or maybe didn't even get on the brakes when he should have done. Dive bomb through, that was it, game over, and he loses another place as a result. That's what can happen at turn 5 on the Europolan, but the rest of them Kept a calm nerve on cool shoulders, even though it's blisteringly hot outside. Just under 4 minutes to go, and Austin Oman now takes us on to lap number 7, a number that's lucky for some. And James Roots, new fastest lap of the race, 59.848 for the 151 from the UK, now running P6. Josh Cook closing in on Teddy Murphy for third place. As there is the 126 of Flynn Grantham. Running under the, that's a team name I haven't seen in a while, Thule Motorsport. So we got 3 minutes to go. Oman still leads. His lead is extensive. It is now 1.3 seconds as we head on to what is lap number 8 of the race. Charlie Page, Teddy Murphy, Josh Cook, Sebastian Behrman and James Roots. That is 6 drivers from the UK, and when you add Flynn Grantham, Logan Rolfe and Maria Roberto, that is 9 out of the top 12. The other 3 nationalities represented, Dayan Habits, Belgium, Noah Stayhouder, the Netherlands, and August Likebo-Lingzo, Denmark. And then you can add another, because you got, well, 2/3 of the top, this is a ridiculous stat I'm going to say here, top 15, 2/3 of UK drivers. Along with that, you've got the UAE and Germany represented. You've got Samar Chopra in the 129 and Tim Hansler from Germany. And even you can tell by the surprised tone in my voice of I thought I would never see the day, and it has come along quickly. Dayan Habits, in the meantime, is trying to get a little bit of a wriggle on in the number 131. And everyone in the, well, all bar one in the top 11 have just all gone under 60 seconds. Driving 1,360 metres round 11 corners here at the home of champions. That's another incredible stat. 2 within 2 minutes of each other. But Josh Cook is trying to close in, and he's right with Teddy Murphy coming out of the final corner, and Teddy Murphy is trying to hold on to the back wheels of a certain Charlie Page, and there goes Murphy through on the inside line at turn 1. Cook thought he might have enough room maybe to get through at 2, and Page holds his racing line. But into turn 5, Cook to the outside. Can he get the slipstream? Oh, he's been pit boxed in as Josh. He can't make the best of it. But can he get through here at turn 6 and 7? Not quite, but a sterling effort from the young man. We've lost 3 already. Gillian Lorison, Arlo Gamble out. Milo de Karlsmaker out. I think de Karlsmaker had problems at the start as our race leader, Austin Oman, comes through into the final corner, comes out of it, puts pedal to the metal. Last lap underway as Josh Cook decides, I'm going to take the traditional racing line. I'll leave you 2 beggars at the front to try and duke it out between yourselves. Well, Teddy Murphy nearly got the inside run on Charlie Page for that particular occasion. But Josh Cook keeping in their wheel tracks, keeping the pair in front. Very, very honest indeed. Down the Europalan for the final time we go. Here on what will be lap 11 out of 11. Charlie Page still holding on with just corners to go. And they're going to head down to turn 9 for the last time Austin Oman is already making his way down to the final corner. And he's going to come out of it. Austin Oman from Sam Pollitt Racing wins the Mini and Mini Rookie pre-final. Second goes the way of Charlie Page. Third, Teddy Murphy. Fourth, Josh Cook. James Root, Sebastian Behrman. Dayan Habits, Flynn Grantham and Logan Rolfe round out the top 9. August Lickerbolingzo makes it to 10th, head of Maria Roberto, Noah Stayhouder, Samar Chopra, Tim Hansler, and Portugal's Vicente Silva in the 119 rounds out the top 15. And it's Jayan Prakash who picks up the win in Mini Rookie in 16th, having started all the way down in 32nd position. Jayan finishes ahead of Ben Falca, Kai Suri, Gustavo Oliveira, Amisio Zani rounding out the top 20, Arthur Bowers, Alexander Freinstein, Jensen Skeffington, Lenny Barton, Tristan Abeels, Henry Moyat, Caio Vieira, Hossein Al-Hosseini, Evert van Middendorp, and Arthur Rain Steenbergen rounding out the finishers. Unfortunately, we lost Julian Lorison, Arlo Gamble, and Milo de Karlsmaker, but Austin Oman wins by a commanding nearly 2.4 seconds in the Mini and Mini Rookie pre-final. Here is your starting grid for the pre-final on Saturday for DD2 and DD2 Masters. Patrick Donica will start from pole position ahead of Wout Kirstens. Mika van der Pavet and Sabel Bendit will round out the top two rows. Enzo Bol and Theo Lewagne will be on row number 3 ahead of Theo Lang and Jim Ringelberg. Next up, Hamza Hashisho starts on the inside of row number 5, representing the state of Qatar, with Poland's Artur Videra rounding out the top 10. Mattis Ankans will be joined by the UK's David Mitchell, ahead of Ben Kaminski and Len Nyes. Ralf van der Pavet and Yannick Jacobs start a bit further back down the field, ahead of Pepin Riedman, Manuel Tenchert, Gwen Bloxil, Dominic Hummels, Christophe Capitan, Steve Vermeulen and Mac McGilvray rounding out your grid. Now, looking back at the qualifying heats, Ralf van der Pavet given a 5-second time penalty for bumper out of position. Same for Yannick Jacobs. Same for Pepin Riedman. And same for Christophe Capitan, which is why those drivers are starting lower in the pre-final today. So the drivers now come out of the final corner. The revs up, and we are racing in the pre-final. As the field heads down into turn number 1, Donica takes the lead. As the field makes its way through into turn 2. Oh, Hamza Hashisha around the outside at 3. Makes up a nice little position. Oh, Pepin Riedman has found the Joker lap. So Pepin Riedman must have had a little bit of contact coming out of turn number 3 and ended up the other side of the barriers, but managed to hold on to it. The Mojo D5 tyres going sideways on the back axle as Patrick Donica is under significant pressure from the numbers that make up SP Motorsport as they go through into the final corner. Donica's going to lead after the opening lap, and it's Mika van der Pavet, Enzo Bol, Wout Kirstens, Sabel Bendit right behind. And Pepin Riedman finds himself down from the race leader by about 9.6 seconds, but the might of Mika van der Pavet and Enzo Bol, two very good friends, two very good teammates. And now it's going to be trying to see if you can get the slingshot down into turn 6 here at the Europolan and then into 7. Then the short blast up to turn 8, the left-hand hairpin that brings us down towards turn 9 at Cafe Corner. Ralf van der Pavet's gone all the way down to around 16th position. Donica defends, doesn't really need to do that much. As some drivers making up a couple of positions, one of which is Qatar's Hamza Hashisho now up 2 places. Runs P7 behind Theo Lang. And here comes the attack and the pass. Mika van der Pavet has got through for the race lead. Enzo Bol now on the other side of the former race leader. Oh, and Bol went for it. Bol went for it. Kirsten's decided to come through into the mix. Donica to the outside. And Hashisho is getting bumped left, right, and centre. But he's keeping his elbows out. Mika van der Pavet's just got a warning flag from race control. Let's just say the cat plus pigeons equals madness and potential calamity on the cards. But Mika van der Pavet now has a lead of just under 1.2 seconds from Patrick Donica. Enzo Bol third. Wout Kirstens, Bendit Sabo. Sabo Bendit, then Theo Lang and Hamza Hashisho. Theo Lemoigne, Len Nyes and Yannick Jacobs now round out the top 10. And there is Mr. Hashisho just into a very, very early stage of his racing career. Hasn't done all of the usual going up the karting ladder from micro through to senior before graduating to DD2. He's gone straight into one of the most challenging and captivating classes. Of course, for those that do not know of the story of how the DD2 came to be, thanks to the thoughts outside of the box by a certain man by the name of Helmut Vogelsam. As, dive and a half there from Enzo Bol, gets through at turn 1 on Patrick Donica. It's an SP Motorsport 1-2. Donica just set the fastest lap of the race. Hashish, and here we go again. Wout Kirstens is through. Wout Kirstens is through on the Polish driver. And that is now 4th for Donica. And it's not over yet because there is Theo Lang from Germany for Kraft Motorsport in the background. Or, well, you could say in the background. He's right up the exhaust pipes of Patrick Donica there. But Hamza Hashisho now starting to run at the sharper end of the field. And really good to see him enjoying the circuit. And as soon as drivers come here for the very first time, I go, how's your first experience? I go, love the track. Love it. And that's why drivers keep coming back more and more to this particular part of continental Europe to not only train but to race. Unfortunately, we've had 2 retirees. We're down to 21 runners and riders. Steve Vermeulen out of the race. Gwen Bloxhill from the Netherlands. She, unfortunately, is also out. Len Nyes has now got past Hamza Hashisho. So has Yannick Jacobs. So the Qatari driver now is in 9th position. But to see him now start to understand how to race at this track, you know, he's had a steep learning curve, but it never deters drivers like that are hungry and motivated. So it looks like we have had a couple of warning flags already. Mattis Ankans is the latest. Both of them have been thrown to DD2 drivers. First to Mika van der Pavet, then to Mattis Ankans. Right, just coming up to 3.5 minutes to go. Mika van der Pavet has nearly a 1.4 second, well, he's got nearly a 1.5 second lead over Enzo Bol. Wout Kirstens rounds out the top 3 ahead of Patrick Donica from Poland. Sabo Bendelen Nyes, Theo Lang, Yannick Jacobs, Hamza Hashisho, and leading in DD2 Masters. It's that crazy boy again, Jim Ringelberg. Ringelberg racing the 547. They round out the top 10. Manuel Tencher now up into what is now 11th position. And there at the back end of that particular train, I was trying to make out the number. I think it might have been the 411 possibly of Artur Videra, who's dropped all the way down to 16th position. Oh, and I do recognise Dirk, as in Dirk Uhlenbrock. Dirk Uhlenbrock on Instagram, who follows me there. Dirk, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, I might add. Patrick Donica wants to be back on that race lead. Has got to watch out for Sabelbendi behind, but it's just put in the fastest lap of the race to 54.923. Meantime, Jim Ringelberg's had a little bit of a howler of a lap. He's dropped behind Manuel Tencher and Ralf van der Pavert. So, new fastest lap briefly for Mika van der Pavert, but he leads his teammate Enzo Bol by just over 1.4 seconds. Sabelbendi trying to get through on, Patrick Donica trying to get through on Wout Kirstens, and it's worked. And here comes Sabelbendi, and this could be very close indeed coming into turn 6. Not quite. Just a minute to go, plus an additional lap. So, including this one, we're probably looking at, I would say, an additional 3 laps of racing. We're on lap 10. So that could give us up until 13 laps in totality. Van der Pavert takes us on to our penultimate lap of this race. Oh no! Wout Kirstens has got the meatball flag of doom. Wout Kirstens is unfortunately going to have to park the kart in the pit lane. Now it's either for one of 2 or maybe 3 things. Possibly for noisy exhaust. Something not seeming right with the wheels, or anything else that might be conducive to the eye or maybe the ear about the individual. But we are on the final lap of the Saturday pre-final for DD2 and DD2 Masters. And Patrick Donica trying to close on into those in front is going to be too little too late, I'm afraid. So Wout Kirstens has pitted. That looks like. They've all gone in, so there we go. Mika van der Pavert effectively becomes the de facto red flag. Well, it's been a red flag stoppage, so they red flagged it right at the end. So Mika van der Pavert, that will basically be a declared race. Maybe that might go back a lap, but Mika van der Pavert, Enzo Bol, Wout Kirstens, Patrick Donica, Sabelbendi, Len Nys, Yannick Jacobs, Theo Lang, Hamza Hashisho. Manuel Tencher rounds out the top 10 ahead of Ralf van der Pavert, Jim Ringelberg, Theo Lemoigne, Christophe Capitan, Mathis Ankans, David Mitchell, Ben Kaminski, Pepin Riedman, Mac McGillivray, Artur Videra and Dominic Hummels are the last of the classified drivers ahead of Stephen Meelan and Gwen Bloxhill, who retired early from the race. Well, there we go. And that concludes the pre-final stages. 3 more races to go until the finals, because next up we've got Senior Max, and that is, or Junior Max, and that is going to be qualifying heat 3, A versus B, as the recovery truck is now out on the circuit.
Is this your career?
Or is it all about fun? A chance to get away and leave it all behind?
Or do you chase your personal best? Challenging yourself over and over again. Why do you come here?
Maybe you're here to collect moments. Good ones. And not so good ones.
Or you can't afford mistakes because you want that victory. It's all about this one moment when the hard work finally pays off.
This is the place that brings us closer to the people who share our story. Whoever we are,
Whatever we're here for, racing is who we are.
So we go to our last qualifying heat. It's Heat 3, A versus B for Junior Rotax, and the grid is as follows. Lars Pascoe and Mick Clinkers on the front row, ahead of Albert Friend and Denny Babacek. Charlie Kitely and Finley Lines, row 3. Finley Smith and Riley Morrow, row 4. Erin Unlodogan and Matthias Verreken, row 5. Emir Sierkowska, Sebastian Clark, Didier Didala, Luca Holmes-Balak, Joao Pereira, Kimi Mai, Loris Perron-Mousset, Sam Kohler, Harry Radcliffe, Martin Soltis, Louis Radcliffe, Devram Yater, Joshua Lorison, Julian Dummer, Lionel Maguire, Thibaut Mercier, Dimitar Lazarov, Trent Van Malik, Mikkel Grantins, Daniel Hakkinen, Ali Fuadmiraz and Ollie Healy, rounding out your grid. Based on the intermediate classification, Kean Bernard is leading the way on 85 points out of Jensen Chalk on 75, Luan Seidel 65, Jensen Walker 54, Albert Friend 50. He's also tied, Albert Friend is also tied with Finney Lines on 50 points, Lieke van Berkel 49, Riley Morrow 44. So, for those wondering, we had a slight issue with the start-finish line, reference the timing circle, and that's why we had the red flag in DD2 and DD2 Masters, just for those wondering. So, the good thing is, at least they managed to get it all sorted. Ryan Rotax, good luck to Matthias Verreken, starting inside the top 10. Right, revs up, lights on, we are green and racing, here for the final qualifying heat. And it's the run down to turn number 1. Pascu leads the way. Clinkers to the outside. Albert Friend waiting for his opportunity to get through. And Clinkers steals the lead. That runoff area can help, but someone has just shortcutted. I think, yep, someone's just gone straight on off of turn 1. I'm wondering, well, hang on. I don't know if we've actually got someone who's got a noisy exhaust possibly, but it is all kicking off at the front end of the field. That is Pascu. Oh, Albert Friend nearly got one up on the inside of Mick Clinkers. Here comes Denny Babacek to the inside. There's Finley Lines and Finley Smith. They both get through. Oh, we've got a firecracker on our hands, folks. Pascu leads after the opening lap. Clinkers, P2. Babacek, 3rd. Lines, Smith, Friend, Morrow, Pereira. Up 7 places in the opening 1,360 metres. And he's not the only one. Loris Perron-Mousset, up 7. Ali Fuat Miraz from Turkey, up 11 places. And it looks like it's all gone horribly wrong for Germany's Emir Sierkowska. And as I said earlier, only 36 drivers will go to the final at 5:05 this afternoon. So now is not the time to go desperate mode and fire it up the inside and then something happens. And it looks like Mick Clinkers has lost a couple of places, and it's changed. Oh, Martin Zoltis has just been given the black flag, and I would imagine that's for shortcutting the track. We'll have to park it. That's it for the driver from Slovakia, I'm afraid. Yeah, down in 21st at the minute. Changes a foot, Albie Friend through on Mick Clinkers. And he's not the only one, because Finley Smith followed in his wheel tracks. So Clinkers finds himself down to what will be, I think that's going to be around about 6th position. And he's got Riley Morrow trying to close on in. Well, Riley Morrow's about 1.5 seconds behind him, so Clinkers need not worry. And the way things have gone, terms of the intermediate classification. Finley Lines, 91. Albert Friend, 88. Rades Pascu, 86. Bernard, 85. Babicek, 82. Murrow, 76. So, and Babicek puts in the fastest tour in the 2.71 and is now trying to close in on his DHR teammate. Rades Pascu from Switzerland is in front, but it's not a case of if Denny Babicek gets through. It's will he have enough time to get through is the big question. Harry Radcliffe gets a, looks like, Harry Radcliffe in the number 216 running 14th. Gets a black and white warning flag from race control. And now the top three. That is Pascu, Babicek and Lines. Covered by 0.4 of a second. Finley Lines, new fastest lap of the race. 57.197 for the man from KR Sports. The son of Stuart Lines, TCR UK promoter and organiser. And also involved in all of that is Finley's mum, Nikki. Great people. I've had the opportunity of working in the TCR UK paddock. And congratulations to their ongoing success in the world of touring cars. Of course, Stuart does like to get behind the wheel once again, every so often, if he gets given the opportunity. But Albert Friend now starting to turn up the volume up to number 11. Mick Klinkers closing in on him. And Klinkers just set the fastest lap of the race, 56.741 by the 2.77 from the Netherlands. Pascu, Babicek and Lines. Still line astern, front to rear. And Lines to the inside. Gets through on Babicek for second at turn 5. So, unfortunately, Devon Mieta out. Emil Sirkowska out. Martin Soltis, due to a black flag, out. Down to 29 runners. Ali Fuat Miraz up 12 spots from 31st to 19th. Other big movers as Finley Lines now leads. As Loris Perron-Mousset gets a black and white warning flag, but Finley Lines now leads by next to nothing. It was a 10th across the line last time around when we completed lap number 6. We're on lap 7. And Babicek doing the old wide crisscross there. He's going to make it 3 wide. Is Babicek going to get the race lead into turn 6? Yes! Oh, and Pascu just nips through at the last moment. Lines is now down to 4th because Klinkers has got through on the man from the UK. Oh, what a development there. Babicek had the confidence, the stones, the cojones, whatever you want to play at that game. He got through and takes the race lead as we have 2 more laps to go. And Pascu's saying, come on, teammate, need to get out of here. Sharpish. And Klinkers is saying, no. I've got that car. I've got that reel ready to throw your way very shortly indeed. Charlie Kitely, new fastest lap of the race. 56.608. But we are coming down to the final lap very shortly. And hold on. It's going to be a bumpy affair at the front end of the field. But who's cantering away into the distance? Last lap underway. Babicek leads. Who was that went 2 wheels on the grass? Might have been Well, it looked like it was a 3 at the end of the number. Couldn't quite 100% make sure who it was. But Denny Babacek, at this moment, oh my goodness me. He's at the front end. Finley Lines has been dropped like a sack of potatoes. Pascu's waiting and clawing onto the rear bumper of the 281 from KR Sports. But if you give someone a window, you give them an inch, sometimes they'll take a country mile. Because Denny Babacek is now heading towards the final corner. Last lap. 9 laps in the books, and it's out of the final corner. And the checker flag goes the way of Denny Babacek. Babacek takes the victory ahead of Mick Clinkers, with Finley Lines taking P3. Charlie Kitely, Rares Pashku, Finley Smith, Loris Perron-Mousset, Albert Friend, Luca Holmes-Balak, João Pereira. That is your top 10. Finishing ahead of Louis Radcliffe, also up 10 spots to finish 11th. Riley Morrow, Erin Unlodogan, Sebastian Clark, Lionel Munguia, Gillian Dummer, Harry Radcliffe, Ali Fouad Miraz, up 13 spots to finish 18th. Ahead of Kimi Mai and Didi Dadali, who complete the top 20. Sam Kohler, Trent Van Melk, Dimitar Lazarov, Joshua Lorison, Thibaut Mercier, Matthias Verreken, Daniel Hakkinen, Mikkel Grantins and Ollie Healy made it to the checkered. Unfortunately, we got a black flag for Martin Soltis, Devon Mieta and Emir Siedkauska. Unfortunately, retire early. There is your starting grid for the penultimate senior road tax qualifying heat. It's number 5 out of 6, A versus D. Sidler versus Lemieux on the front row. Lambers and Remy on row 2. Mahor and Sabaha, row 3. Maximov and Bishop, row 4. Freeman and Shields, row number 5. Attila Kalapak, Saver Morris, Akos Madaras, Leon Hasty, Matej Vikor, Koen Willems, William Pemble, Mark Kimber, Shun Sekaguchi, Bran van der Weyken, Ryan Kairos, Louis Oliver Gunter, Bo Alris, Jori Schoens, Rein Vandermeer, Lado Koenidze, Arav Dewan, Tom Streller and Dennis Helson round out the grid. So, Justin Funk saying, good job from Joao Pereira. Well, of course, he is your teammate after all. Justin, good to have you in the YouTube chat. Now, slight change of circumstance. Now, we've had a lot of significant heat here. So, effectively, the yellow line on the start-finish straight will be the starting and ending point. Main reason being is that because of the 30-plus degrees that we have had and significant overhead sunshine beating down on the circuit here at Genk, it has caused a slight issue. But we do what we do best. We work around it. We look for a solution. So that is going to be what is happening as race director Manuel Branco asks Tino Sidler and Antoine Lemieux to slow things down. And at the minute, Tino Sidler has 2 wins to his credit. Teresa Babichkova at the moment is currently sitting in second on 94. Freddie Lloyd on 82, Lars Lambers 78, Max Sidersky 77, Mark Kimber, Antoine Lemieux and Mick Vandenhout round out the top as we go revs up and we go racing here in the penultimate qualifying heat, and someone has come to a stop. That's Dennis Helson, it looks like. And we've had an incident at turn 1, one gone backwards. There's been a bit of a punt to pass there, I'm afraid, as the race gets truly underway. As the field makes its way down the Europalan into turn number 6. And it look, Bran van der Weyken it might be. Oh no, the young Belgian from Bouvin Power. His race has come to an abrupt end. As everyone filters their way through Cafe Corner, but Tino Sidler leading the way at the moment as things stand. And, 332. Rein Vandermeer has just come into the pits with a noisy exhaust and is out. As Macaulay Bishop looks to try and get through on the 345 of Andrea Remy, who's got Arnold Sabaha, one of the two Canadians in this race. Shun Sekaguchi up 8, and he is now currently up to 11th position as Macaulay Bishop finds a way past Andrea Remy in the number 345 from Kraft Motorsport. And Bishop has gone purple in the opening sector. So the chase begins. Of course, Bishop and Gilbert had that coming together on the last lap, last corner of their first qualifying heat today. So that has compromised the defending champion, but Bishop is more than making up for it. He's absolutely flying and he's pulling past. Who's that's on the start-finish straight and has just had a moment? Louis Oliver Gunter, I'm afraid. Touch from behind. The Constantina effect happened. And looks like Sabaran got a touch from behind and inadvertently hit the back of Bishop. And Lars Lambers is trying to make his way through and is ahead of Remy. Then you've also got Rafael Moreau for SF Automatech in the number 326 is there. Boris Maximov is there. And, dramas for Akos Madaras and Arav Dewan. As Andrea Remy loses a position, this time to Rafael Moreau. As Arav Dewan gets a black and white warning flag from race control. That will be relating to driver conduct, I'm sure. But with 4 minutes to go, Sidler still leads. Lemieux second. Bishop now up 5 places and is running third. Arnold Sabara up 2. Now currently sitting in 4th position. Right ahead of Lars Lambers from Belgium from Bouvin Power. Tom Strela, the young man from Latvia. Now these days with Strawberry Racing, originally when I first met him in Europe before heading over to the Baltics. Hello to the likes of Yanis and Martinas from our Latvian and Lithuanian friends from the Rotax Racing family. Tom Strela, new fastest lap of the race, 56.290, as the drivers come out of the final corner. Sidler across the line, 0.2 of a second ahead. Oh, right. 3.20. Arav Dewan is still being shown that black and white flag from race control. But in the meantime, Antoine Lemieux closing in on Switzerland's Tino Sidler for the race win. So it looks like we are down a handful of drivers. Lars Lambers going quickest in the opening sector. Leon Hasty from Scotland. The countryman of a certain Mr. Lewis Gilbert. As all, again, Lemieux tries to look for the opportunity, but Bishop has been reeling them in. He's got his fishing pole out and he's gone casting. Harry Freeman, new fastest lap of the race. 55.839 as we're down into the last 1 3/4 minutes of the race. Sidler, Lemieux, Bishop, Lambers, Sabohan, Maximov, Freeman, Remy, Hasty, and now purple sector by the man from the land of the rising sun, Shun Sekaguchi, up 9 spots. Tom Strela up 14. Lado Kuhanidze up 10. As Macaulay Bishop has got through on Antoine Lemieux and is now going to drag his Canadian teammates along. Not quite kicking and screaming, I'm afraid. But it's more the case of, can I make sure he or she sticks with me? And he and she generalised, it was more of a generalisation term. You know, there are so many drivers out there. Great to see some female representation on our grids here this weekend, as well as in the paddock. And I'm not talking just family members. I'm talking mechanics. I'm talking team managers. People who are entrenched in this sport. And Macaulay Bishop wants to deny Tino Sidler, I think, a clean sweep of victories. 2 laps remaining. And the gap now, fastest lap by Macaulay Bishop, 55.499. Gap was just under 2 3/4 tenths. And there's a clash between Bishop and Sidler. Sidler went to turn in. Bishop went for the move. And they both made contact. Antoine Lemieux is not out of this. Neither will be the 3-4-2 from Bouvin Power that is Lars Lambers. Into turn 6 for the final time. Timer has hit 0. Sidler has got about 1,700 metres to hold on to that race lead. He's had 2 wins already today. Can he make it 3 from 3 in towards the final corner? The drivers will now accelerate out of it as we go on to the last lap. Sidler still leads. Bishop trying to see what he can do here. Sidler defends into turn 1. Neat, Swiss-like precision from Sidler. Bishop unable to get through. He's going to go to the high side of turn 5. That nearly opened the door for the 303 of Antoine Lemieux, who's got Lars Lambers right on his rear bumper into turn 7 for the final time. Bishop's going to try and make something of it here. They nearly make contact on sidewalls. Sidler has the inside line through turn 8. Bishop runs wide. He's 2 wheels on the grass. Sidler holds on with the race lead with just this and 1 more corner to go. Tino Sidler. I haven't seen form from him like this for ages, but Sidler's out of the final corner. Sidler gets the clean sweep. Tino Sidler has won all 3 of his qualifying heats, and that provisionally puts him on pole position for this afternoon's top 36 final. I think if you want to get yourself noticed, particularly if you know a bit of Schweizerdeutsch, this is his way of saying, hey, grüezi zusammen. It's like saying, hello, I'm here. Takes the win. Great job, Tino Sidler from KR Sport. 3 from 3, winning in front of the defending champion, Macaulay Bishop. Antoine Lemieux makes it a Dan Holland Racing 2-3. Lars Lambers, Leon Hasty, Harry Freeman, Arnold Sebahan, Raphael Moreau, Andrea Remy and Mark Kimber ran out your top 10. Boris Maximov, Danny Shields, Attila Kalapax, Lado Korhanidze and Tom Streller. The 2 from Georgia and Latvia respectively, they made up 25 places between them. Will Pemble, Jori Schoens, Matej Vikor, Kuhn Willems, Ryan Kairos, Bo Alris, Ava Morris and Akos Madaras round out the finishers. Unfortunately, with 2 laps to go, we lost Shun Sekaguchi, we lost Arav Dewan, Louis Oliver Gunter, Bran van der Weken, Rein van der Meer and Dennis Helsen. 1 more qualifying heat to go, folks. We now come down to the last race of the pre-final stages. It is qualifying heat 6. B versus C for senior Rotax. Here's your starting order. Charlie King and Lewis Gilbert on the front row. King on pole. Ollie Wise and Mick Vandenhout, row 2. Freddie Lloyd and Teresa Babichkova, row 3. Deacon Russell and Vince van der Halle, row 4. Row 5, Vic van Kampenhout and Max Sederski. Reimer van Beek and Ryan Gandor, row 6. Kai Clark and Giorgio Montrone, row 7. Antoine Tajon and Bastien Mesnil, row 8. Matteo Montrone and Sebastian Koch, row 9. Sverre Ubben, due to start on the inside of the 10th row. It's due to have Enzo Zani alongside for company. They complete the top 20. Tobias Norman, Luca de Moitro, Boris Verhaag, Conor Large, Noah Janssen, Louis Le Rigoleur, Cody Le Paterel, Tom Reger, Philip Lenk, and Hannes Überfeld round out the grid. Now, the big question is, where is Sverre Ubben? I can't see him at the end of the mechanics grid. Grüezi Mario Sidler. Your bro did good, my friend. He did an absolute mega job. Now, the intermediate classification stands as thus. Tino Sidler cannot be toppled. He's got 150 points. Antoine Lemieux and Lars Lambers equal second on 116. Harry Freeman, 104. Mark Kimber, 103. Leon Hasty, 100. Raphael Moreau, 99. And Macaulay Bishop, 97. That is the top 8 in the provisional intermediate classification for 60 Rotax drivers in seniors. So for the uneducated folks at home, let me explain this to you in simplified terms. It means that if your tally is anywhere above 116 or above 97, you might get yourself a place in the top 8, but you might not get, or you probably won't get, pole position for the top 36 final. Right, I do see Sverre Ubben. I think his transponder might have failed, possibly. I'm not 100% sure, because I did see Luca de Moito. I think I might have seen 348. However, red lights are on the gantry for the final time for the qualifying heat stages of seniors on day 1. As we go into the tram lines, revs go up, lights are on, and we are racing. And it's the run down to corner number 1, and Lewis Gilbert sweeps in front of Charlie King, takes the race lead, and that's going to also promote Teresa Babichkova to 3rd. Mick Vandenhout to 2nd. It's 3 wide, a little bit further back at the bottom of the top 12, going through turn 3. Oh, I nearly had kittens. Yes, thank you very much, Mario. Good to hear from you, buddy. See you in the finals a little bit later on. But in the meantime, Mick Vandenhout has got through on Teresa Babichkova. Lewis Gilbert now starting to stride away into the distance. He could do that quite easily if he wasn't in a kart, because he's a tall... Oh, and Sverre Ubben's got a technical flag. Sverre Ubben is out of the race, and that is a real shame for the GKS Lemon Powers car, the X3, as there's going to be a change a little bit further back. Max Sederski's just got through on Teresa Babichkova, and Sverre Ubben will be like saying, why has my luck deserted me all of a sudden? Oh, there's a chain guard that's just gone off of one of the carts going down the start-finish straight. I'm wondering if that might be another GKS kart that's just suffered that fate. Because whoever it was, the kart went sideways and the chain guard went up and into the air and landed on the tarmac on the start-finish straight. So, mechanical black flag for Sverre Ubben. Noah Janssen is at the back end of the field. And more to the point, he's 17 seconds off of Luca de Moitsu. And I think De Moitu might have just lost his chain guard. Not 100% sure, but we'll have that clarified very shortly. Meantime, Lewis Gilbert cantering away into the distance. And there's a battle as Sidursky through on Babichkova. Vince van der Halle tries to get through. He does. And there is Ollie Wise. Oh, and it's 3 wide. Wise gets through around the outside of Babichkova. And there goes the 305. Canada's Ryan Gandor. I think Freddie Lloyd's involved in all that. Yes, he is. As he's through too at the same point. It was all here, it was carts left, carts right, carts behind and carts in front. Sounds like a pit box manoeuvre if you're in a sheriff's department in the United States. But now that the 322 of Lars Lambers has been given a licence to go chasing down the pride of Scotland, Mr. Lewis Gilbert, well, he's got to do what he can. Oh, I'm wondering. Now, Max Sidursky is being pressured from behind courtesy of a certain Vince van der Halle. Tobias Norman from Denmark, new fastest lap of the race. Norman down in 17th position. And that was with a 56.550. We're halfway through this final qualifying heat. And Lewis Gilbert seems to, well, the feathers when it comes to certain somebody like Lewis Gilbert, he does not get flustered. That man, he has a steely demeanour when it comes to racing. So yeah, the chain guard did definitely come off on the start-finish straight, as Sverre Ubben has just been given the black flag and will be excluded from this race. And Tobias Norman again has gone in and put in another fastest lap of the race. Boris Verhaag now up 11 spots. Bastien Mesniel now up from 16th, now runs 9th, head of Ollie Wise. There's been so many changes. It's been difficult to keep a track of, considering the fact, you know, there's drivers passing each other left, right and centre. Sometimes it's not easy. It's not always easy to follow, folks. You try and keep an eye, as Sverre Ubben has just pulled into the pits. So it made quite a few places, but because he'd been black flagged and his transponder didn't register either, I didn't really have an indication of what place he was in. But Mick van den Hout has just been passed by Vince van der Halle. And there is Evolution Racing's Freddie Lloyd in the 375 just behind. And Max Sidursky now in second. Just under 8 tenths behind Lewis Gilbert. Has just put in the fastest lap of the race. And that was a 55.640 for the young man from the Netherlands. All right. 398. Cody LePaterel has just got the mechanical black flag. So that might have been the other kart whose chain guard went exiting the scene of the start-finish straight. So the Guernsey driver is going to be out of this final qualifying heat and has to park it. Otherwise, that is a black flag that Sverre Ubben that has also had. Boris Verhaag, with just under a minute to go, puts in the new fastest lap of the race. But Lewis Gilbert is still leading. They go through turn 7 to the leaders. There's Max Sidursky. He's, again, at loggerheads with old sparring partner who's followed him up the classes in the form of Vince van der Halle. Freddie Lloyd. Good drive from the Evolution racing pilot. 23.3 from Freddie Lloyd in the opening sector. 2 laps to go. Gilbert still leads. And the gap is still 7 tenths. And he's set another personal best. Yes, he might be a tenth and a half slower than Max Siderski, but it is enough to keep the 397 at bay for the meantime. Mick van den Hout in the 322 has just put in the fastest lap. And at the moment, well, the way things are going, Teresa Babichkova could find herself on the outside of the front row for the top 36 final. Max Siderski, 128. Freddie Lloyd, 120. Mick van den Hout has climbed his way up to 7th in the intermediate classification provisionally, but Sidler is 22 ahead of Babichkova. So even if she finishes 6th, as she does right now, she still will be within a chance. Last lap is underway. And Lewis Gilbert's lead now 4.5 tenths. As Vic van Kampenhout gets passed by Tobias Norman, Boris Verhaag now hits the top 10. Funnily enough, that's 10th position. But Lewis Gilbert leads the field down to the Europelan for the final time of asking. And when you look at it from this perspective, we've had winners so far. Tino Sidler, Vince van der Holle, Tino Sidler, Antoine Lemieux, Tino Sidler. And, well, there we go. Finally, a look over the right shoulder from Lewis Gilbert. The pride of Scotland, the man from Arden Motorsport in GB3, makes his return to the BNL Karting Series, and he's going to come out of the final corner. Gilbert wins the last qualifying heat of the day by next to nothing. 2 tenths ahead of Max Siderski. Oh, I'm so glad to call this man across the line after a notable couple of years as a race winner in senior Rotax. Lewis Gilbert, the pride of Scotland. And sorry to his mum, Jen. You might know his original name, the Diamond of Dalry. Well, I don't use that anymore. The pride of Scotland is more fitting with this man. He takes the win ahead of Max Siderski, with Freddie Lloyd from Evolution Racing rounding out the top 3. Vince van der Holle and Mick van den Hout round out the top 5. Ahead of Teresa Babichkova, Kai Clark, Ryan Gandor, Ollie Wise and Boris Verhaag, who round out the top 10. Bastien Mesnil and Sebastian Koch round out the top 12 ahead of Matteo Montrone, Tobias Norman, Vic van Kampenhout, Antoine Tajon, Conor Lange, Tom Hager up 10 places to finish ahead of Jaime van Beek and Hannah Zuberfeld, who also gained 10 places and rounded out the top 20. Enzo Zani, Cody Lepadrel, Philip Lenk, Luca de Moitru, Louis Lorigueur, Giorgio Montrone, Deacon Russell and Noah Janssen rounding out the 28 finishers. Unfortunately, Charlie King out and Sveti Ubben getting a mechanical black flag. Well, what a busy day it's been in the office, folks, for everyone involved. 13 races down. 4 more to go, but more importantly, they are the crucial ones. The finals are coming up very soon. We will be back with you just before 4:15 this afternoon as Mini and Mini Rookie will start the finals for day 1 here at the Home of Champions. We'll see you in a little bit.